Yu Yu Hakusho is one of those series that we've grown up watching, so everyone certainly has a very emotional connection with this series. Though the show was not as popular back then as it is today, it's still among one of the best storylines ever written. So today, we will discuss the amazing anime series Yu Yu Hakusho and give you a sneak peek at what it's actually about. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's get it! Yu Yu Hakusho is getting all the hype since millennials everywhere discovered the anime and became totally head over heels for the classic. Yu Yu Hakusho was first aired in 1992 in Japan, and when it got fame, it was dubbed in English and aired in 2002 in North America. But it was not the traditional and cute anime, and its themes were a lot darker, the language used was a bit harsh, and some scenes were not suitable for children to watch. I'm talking anime at 1 a.m. type business. I'm talking Adult Swim. I'm talking Bionics. I'm talking watching the TV at its lowest volume hoping your mom don't creep in and slap your ass. Now, since the series aired, 2 films were also made based on the Yu Yu Hakusho manga, but the films have taken some creative freedom and changed some bits about the story. Initially launched as a manga in Shonen Jump, it was later turned into a very long series with 112 episodes. The series was a little bit different from the manga, as the director added a few things from his side. In the Philippines and India, the series was famously known as The Ghost Fighter, and the dubbed version of this series is divided into 4 different parts. The story of this anime is particularly interesting and unique compared to other anime of its time. The anime is directed by famous director Noriyuki Abe under the banner of Fuji Television, which got this series just the right type of clout. The story starts with a boy, Yusuke, who is a very skilled street fighter and a little bit of a smartass. He does not like cheesy dialogues and cringy jokes, which makes his character very intense and dark, but in a comedic sort of way. One day, Yusuke is sulking because he had a really bad day at school, but he was unaware that this day was about to get a lot worse. As he's walking down the street, he sees a boy that's about to get hit by a car, so he jumps out into the middle of the street and saves the boy. But in doing this, he ends up dying. Fortunately, however, this is not what the spiritual forces originally intended. The spirits planned to save the boy from this accident, but Yusuke ended up intervening and sacrificing his own life instead. This sacrifice impressed the spiritual forces, and they offered Yusuke a deal so that he could get his life back. And thus, the journey of Yusuke from death to life begins. Yusuke seeks the help of Botan and Koenma, and eventually returns back to the world of the living. But you'll be pretty shocked to know what happens next. Koenma was not helping Yusuke for his good heart, but because he had an important errand to run, and Yusuke was the perfect candidate for it. Koenma appointed Yusuke as the hunter of demons, otherwise known as a spirit detective, because a number of demons had begun escaping and wreaking havoc over the earth. Yusuke had no choice but to take up this duty because he's obviously indebted to Koenma and wants to get back to his regular life. Yusuke's story begins. He meets a number of cool enemies and friends, and some frenemies along the way, and ultimately becomes the greatest spirit detective in the history of the spirit world. Now, looking at the anime from more of a technical perspective, the cinematography and animation in this series are far better than the other anime that came out at this time. Even if you watch it today, you'll still appreciate how great of a cinematic experience it is, despite its initial slow scenes, which might come out as boring to some, but the tension keeps building and the thrill develops as the series goes on over time. You can't help but watch this. And if you don't like that, the theme song is going to catch you. Alright, cut that off. I told you it was catchy. Now, getting back into the source material, the manga of this series is a very long one and contains 19 volumes which were released in 1991, just a year before the actual anime aired. Now, the anime is split between 4 different sagas. Unlike traditional anime where now we call everything arcs and it's wrapped up in a neat little bow, Yu Yu Hakusho kind of took a different approach. So the first saga is called the Spirit Detective Saga, and this actually breaks down into 5 separate arcs. The first arc is named Yusuke's Ordeal, which deals with the background of the series and the personal life of Yusuke Urameshi, how he was brought up, and what he used to do before the accident. Artifacts of Darkness is the second arc, and it features the development of Yusuke's life after he's dead, and how he meets Kurama, Hiei, and obviously everybody's fan favorite, Kuwabara. The third arc is all about Genkai and his spirit wave technique. Botan sends Yusuke to Genkai to be her successor and to learn the art of the spirit wave technique so he can control and hunt even stronger demons who are destroying peace on Earth. The Beast of May's Castle is the 4th arc, and in this arc, Yusuke defeats the beast in the castle at the command of Botan and Koenma. The fight is really dangerous, and Yusuke almost loses his life again by fighting with these beasts when Kuwabara, Yusuke's companion, saves his life by giving him some of his own energy. Rescue Yukina is the 5th and final arc of this story, which contains some serious fighting sequences and shocking revelations when Yusuke, Botan, and Kuwabara decide to save Yukina from the Tugaro brothers. The 2nd saga is called the Dark Tournament Saga, and focuses on Yusuke and the gang competing in a huge otherworldly martial arts tournament and eventually having to defeat the Tugaro brothers once again. The 3rd saga is called the Chapter Black Saga, which introduces the previous spirit detective Shinobu Sensui, who is ultimately the most powerful spirit detective in history. But the years have twisted his mind, and he's planning to unleash a sinister darkness over the world. The final saga is the Three Kings Saga. This part of the anime focuses on Yusuke, Hiei, and Kurama's affairs in Demon World, who quickly find themselves becoming involved in the realm's political struggle for power, as Yusuke finds out that he's been possessed by one of the 3 kings of Demon World, Ryzen, while at the same time, Kurama and Hiei are receiving messages from the 2 other kings from Demon World asking to join forces for the upcoming battle for power that will ultimately decide who the king of Demon World is. Watching this anime now compared to when it first came out all those years ago, this still stands up to the test of time. It was a dope show. It really brought back that old school vibe of anime like Inuyasha or Gundam Wing. It's not necessarily the same type of story, but just that animation style, that grittiness, and some of the things that they say, I mean, shoot, you would get canceled if you said that shit on TV today. So really, do yourself a favor and go watch this anime. Honestly, it's one of the best stories. I think I binge watched this show over 100 episodes in probably like 1 week. It is just that good. They don't really make anime like this anymore. So let me know in the comment section how many episodes have you watched of the series, and make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon for all the latest updates. I'll see you in the next video, and until next time, peace.